Tanith was a master of weaving genres. And I know that you also, we were talking earlier about how, how you've written like everything under the sun, it sounds like. So yeah, I'm wondering if that also, yeah, came from Tanith's influence, or yeah, how you came about writing just everything and the process, and if it's different. So if you want to talk about that at all.
Sure. For example, what I call my series, The Atlantis Grail, I call it cross genre. This guy right here, it's a big fat fat books, huge volumes. It's cross genre because it's technically, you would put it, if you were going to use one, it's science fiction, but my goodness, there's so many other things going on. There is ancient history, the legend of Atlantis, mythology, romance, hard astrophysics. There's kind of relationships and school academia setting. There's family bonds, love, of course, romance, adventure, action adventure, puzzle solving, and game lit, game lit being, games, because there's the games of the Atlantis. So this is just one of the ways I do it. I just cannot seem to pick a genre, and it doesn't make it very easy to promote books like that, because as a small press and an author who besides, I finally established a small press that gave me the opportunity, because right now self-publishing is a very kind of like a force of nature. So we're doing a lot of it ourselves. So to do all this myself, I have to categorize, and a lot of writers, and I wonder if some of this was the problem for Tanith being kind of not seen at that point, because she was this amazing fantasy with science fiction and other things, and dark and dark fantasy and horror, and so she blended these things, and they didn't know what to do with her. The publishers just stopped, because she was not easily, they couldn't just stick her in this slot, because like they say, square peg in a round hole. She was a star, and you put her in a little basic so basic container of genre, which just was wrong. So that could have been why she was kind of like disappearing out of view there for a while, because how do you describe her? I don't know. She's fantasy, she's science fiction. She did dark. She did I believe she even did TV, episodes of what was it? Blake 7. She wrote the screenplays for the episodes of Blake 7 on the British TV. So yeah, she did everything. And when you have too much of everything, it's hard to categorize. So cross genre, and I do the same thing. I do find it troubling to say, okay, I'm going to focus in this direction, but I can't. So
yeah, definitely. I know that yeah, Julie Cide, who is the editor-in-chief for Storyteller, and then also runs Essential Dreams Press. I mean, she also, like, her book The Rampant had, I believe it was Sumerian mythology in it. And then Maya Dean, who is an author for Storyteller, she wrote a book about I believe it was Achilles, and it's just, so it's just really,
sure, exactly. Myth, legend, ancient mythologies, that's Tanith. That's like the heart of Tanith. So
yeah, and it's just cool, because you're right that it would have been hard to categorize, but I think today there's more leeway for authors, especially with like small
presses and self-publishing. You're in control. Right now I am technically a hybrid, which means I do both trad pub and traditional publish with big publishing. But mostly I don't want to. Like, my audiobooks are all traditionally published, because I just don't have the resources to do audio recording. And can you imagine having Tanith's audiobooks? Oh, the beauty of having it read by a wonderful narrator, So all this stuff was not even around. It was not available back then. So, and when I say then, it's only like just 10 or so years ago, so she could have really, like, I think she could have had a second rebirth and re-exploded on the scene, because that's what she deserves. She would be what I call a classic. She is a living classic, and she was from the moment she started writing. So.
Yeah, and I know it's so this past Saturday, as we're recording this, was the SFWA, like, they awarded
Nebula Awards, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, and the posthumously that award, and I just think
the Infinity Award.
I just think it's like, it's sad. I mean, it's really wonderful, but it's also just, you know, sad that she wasn't able to garner that support during her lifetime. And
Oh, I
yeah,
agree. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
I mean, she's just so, and so, you know, she is getting her like rebirth, but, you know,
Yes.
sadly she's not around to see it, at least on this
She
plane, right?
should have been a grandmaster. See, this is the one thing that SFWA, or the Science Fiction Fantasy Authors of America, used to be called that. Now it's, what is it? Science Fiction Fantasy Authors Association. So it's still SFWA, but yeah. They give out Grandmaster Awards to great people in the genre. And Tanith, I don't think she ever got one, which is, I think it's a travesty. For God's sake, give Tanith, yes, the Infinity Award is lovely, but give her an official Grandmaster of, which was the big award of that, of the organization. So